Aaron.
Yeah.
Why didn't you say it the first time I said Aaron?
Because it's pronounced Aaron?
You done messed up, Aaron!
Aaron is here. Welcome back, everybody, for more SPTV, where every day is a great day not to be in a cult. All right, guys, let's talk about LA County Sheriff Alex Villanueva. Now, he used to be the sheriff, and he's running for sheriff again. He is not presently the sheriff of LA County, but he wants to be, and that's a problem. And that's why we're talking about Alex Villanueva's Scientology connections exposed. Guys, one of the recent past LA County sheriffs was, of course, Lee Baca, very tight with Scientology, very tight with David Miscavige. And Lee Baca wound up in prison for corruption. It seems to me that if you are a law enforcement official, officer, you probably don't want to be getting into bed with the world's most notorious human trafficking cult known as Scientology. There's really no upside. And it does make me wonder if the reason some of these high-profile law enforcement officers get tricked into getting into bed with Scientology is because maybe they're tricked into believing that Scientology controls like some giant voting block or something. I mean, Scientology does claim 10 or 15 million members worldwide when the real figure is like 25,000, 30,000 max. These are hard numbers. Now, if and we're going to get into, what exactly we're talking about regarding Alex Villanueva here in a moment. But, in all of LA County, maybe there's 5,000 Scientologists. Half of those can't even vote. I looked up how many people vote in the LA County sheriff elections. Like how many people vote? It's like over 2 million people vote. And that's out of over 5 million registered voters. About 2.2 million people actually vote. Imagine being tricked into doing events at private Scientology Sea Organization facilities and thinking that somehow that was going to help you win an election. Does anybody remember recently when Karen Bass was running for mayor of Los Angeles and she was running against Rick Caruso? And it was found that Karen Bass had spoken at a Scientology event at one of their grand openings of one of their buildings. And it was like the biggest scandal in the LA mayoral race. It was like the absolute biggest scandal. And I think Rick Caruso and Karen Bass very quickly began like a race to the bottom of who could distance themselves from Scientology the most. And it was reported, I think, in the LA Times, it might have even been Rick Caruso who was being quoted, that no matter where you are on the political spectrum, the one thing that brings politicians together on both sides of the aisle is the knowledge and understanding that Scientology is a notoriously dangerous human trafficking cult. Now, Karen Bass won the election anyway, but it was despite her sort of unwitting affiliation with Scientology, and certainly not because of it. So if you're someone like an Alex Villanueva, what is it that gets you to do an event at a Scientology facility? Is it because you think you need the votes, or is it because you think you need the donations? Like maybe Scientology and Scientologists have deep pockets. Are they throwing a lot of money to Alex Villanueva? Who knows? Okay, so what are we talking about? Here's what we're talking about. Here he is. Now, Alex Villanueva was LA County Sheriff from 2018 to 2022. He then lost the election in 2022. He's now running again. He is putting on an event for the Spanish community on L. Ron Hubbard Way inside the belly of the beast, Lebanon Hall. Now, most people are going to now this event is this Saturday, October 22nd at 6:30 p.m. If you are in the LA area and you want to show up to let Alex Villanueva know how absurd it is that someone running for sheriff would have an event in the belly of the beast of a notorious family-destroying human trafficking cult that has as one of its core policies never being allowed to report a crime of another member to law enforcement. I mean, it doesn't get more disgusting than this. You're running to be the sheriff, and you're going to have an event in the facility of an organization that prevents members from reporting crimes to law enforcement. It doesn't matter whether that crime is rape or child rape, you don't get expelled from Scientology for the raping. You get expelled from Scientology for reporting the raping to the police. It is so gross to think that someone running for sheriff would hold an event at a Scientology facility. By the way, guys, it's not like this is a Scientology facility that's just like open to the public for events. This is the chapel of the American St. Hill organization. Now, on L. Ron Hubbard Way, there's 3 different Scientology organizations going from north to south. There's the Los Angeles organization, then there's the American St. Hill organization, then across the street, there's the Advanced Organization of Los Angeles. These are all Scientology organizations staffed by Sea Organization members. By the way, immediately right off the bat, you have what is the core of Scientology's human trafficking operation, which is its Sea Organization members who work 100 to 120 hours a week, 365 days a year for $47 a week if they're lucky, because those are not wages. Those are an allowance for its religious volunteers. When I worked in the Sea Organization on L. Ron Hubbard Way, we usually didn't even get any of that pay at all because these organizations don't actually make enough money to even pay their bills. And the Sea Org members only get paid out of a percentage of the money that's left over after you pay the bills. Okay, so not only is he holding an event in the belly of the beast of a human trafficking operation, the Sea Organization, but then you also have the element of Scientologists not even being allowed to report crimes to the authorities. It's absolutely ridiculous. Okay, so let me see. Let's go back to this little flyer here. Okay, yes, Lebanon Hall. Okay, so Lebanon Hall, what is that? If you're looking at L. Ron Hubbard Way, you've got the Los Angeles organization. I mean, I'm gesturing as if I'm standing on L. Ron Hubbard Way, looking west at the wall of blue buildings. And if that's what you're doing, on the right-hand side, which is really north, you have the Los Angeles organization. Then right in front of you, you have this incredibly ugly metal statue of a lion. I don't know why Scientology doesn't spend the money to upgrade to an attractive statue of a lion. They've stuck with this ugly lion forever. That is the American St. Hill organization. Then there is a little breezeway. It's like an entrance into the belly of the beast. That breezeway connects the American St. Hill organization to what they call main building. Main building is where the Sea Org members eat and live. And right between the American St. Hill organization and main building is this, it's almost like a 6-story little apartment building where high-level Sea Org members live. And that is called Lebanon Hall. That is called Leb Hall. So generally speaking, you walk into this breezeway, you walk into this entrance, and in front of you is actually the chapel. Now, again, this gets into Scientology's deception. They don't really use chapels the way real churches use chapels. The chapel is really where the Sea Org members have their weekly staff meeting. And this is a private space used really only for the use of Scientology Sea Org members and some public Scientologists. And this is where Alex Villanueva is holding a campaign event. It doesn't even make sense. It makes me wonder, especially because this campaign poster is in Spanish. Has someone tricked Alex Villanueva into thinking that this is somehow a community center for Hollywood's Latino population? Like, I mean, there's no way he could be that stupid. There's no way people on his campaign could be that stupid. And guys, it's not. Alex Villanueva has a history of doing events at Scientology facilities. So it's not like he's actually being tricked. I'm just pointing out that none of this makes any sense at all. Okay, so one more time, let's just look at this poster. Alex Villanueva, help is on the way. Todos por California. Right? Oh, I'm sorry. It's not in Spanish. I guess his campaign is called Todos por California. Anyway, Todos por California invites you to a community meeting to hear Alex Villanueva. Help is on the way. October 22nd, 2025, 6:30 p.m. Leb Hall. There you go. There you go. Okay, now Streets LA posted about this. Streets LA posted about this on Twitter, and Streets LA is going to be showing up to this event. And is everyone welcome at the event? Is this a campaign? Is this a campaign event, or is it a Scientology event? Like, to have a politician And I consider, sheriff, it's an elected post, so I consider it to be a politician. To have a politician putting on an event at a private Scientology facility, is someone from the community like Streets LA, who's persona non grata in Scientology, is he going to be allowed to attend this event? We're going to find out. Anyway, here's what Streets posted about on Twitter. Alex Villanueva is doing a campaign event in Scientology's chapel at their West Coast headquarters. Villanueva did multiple campaign events at Scientology's Blue Building last election. I know because activists have tried confronting him leaving his Scientology events, but Scientology slipped him out side exits. You, handful of Alex Villanueva supporters, need to ask Alex why he uses a human trafficking cult to raise money. If he holds this event, I will be there to question him. I don't give a shit if Scientology calls the police. It says the community is invited, so I'm going. Here is Alex Villanueva's campaign coordinator at another Scientology function. Someone needs to confront Alex about his Scientology ties. Absolutely incredible. Yes. If Karen Bass, if one of her biggest scandals while running for mayor is that she spoke at a Scientology event at a grand opening and dedication ceremony for one of those new buildings, I would expect that Alex Villanueva running for sheriff would also have to answer the hard questions about what are your ties to Scientology? Why are you holding campaign events, fundraising events at Scientology facilities? Do you understand that there's only maybe 2,000, 2,500 voting Scientologists in all of LA County? I mean, could it be 3,000? Could it be 4,000? One of the reasons there's so few voting Scientologists is because such a large percentage of the people who might identify as Scientologists in LA County are people who've been brought in from out of the country to work for Scientology. It's part of the human trafficking operation. So are you holding the campaign events because you support Scientology's agenda? And what is that agenda? What do you think it is? What parts of it do you support? Are you trying to court them because you think they have a lot of votes? Are you actually falling for the BS that there's millions of Scientologists? Or is this for the money? And how much money are you getting from Scientology or Scientologists? I don't know. These are the questions that would be great to have answers to. Let's look at some starred comments and we'll wrap this up. I got more to do later today. Okay, the gay divorcee says, given how little regard Scientology has for law enforcement, unless they're doing Scientology's bidding, I don't know why they would seek out this demographic. I agree. Judy Villanueva was behind the sheriff gangs scandal. Bodil Vant, can anyone take part of something in this facility without being in contact with and take advantage of trafficked workforce? Yeah, any events put on at this facility are being either catered or served by or attended by or staffed by Scientology Sea Org members who are working 100, 110, 120 hours a week for $47 a week if they're lucky and cannot leave the base without approval. And if any of those Sea Org members were to try to leave, they would be physically restrained by Scientology security guards. I mean, the human trafficking is occurring right there on L. Ron Hubbard Boulevard. So what sort of a message does it send, even if to Scientologists, that someone who was the LA County Sheriff, someone who's running for LA County Sheriff, someone who may become LA County Sheriff is A-okay with Scientology? Eggert Olaf's Karen Bass's speech was in 2010, and she has not been to their facilities after that. That's right. When Karen spoke, it was a long time ago, and she still got an unbelievable amount of flack for it. Here you've got Villanueva holding campaign events in Scientology facilities, like literally present day. Yeah. I mean, these numbers that I mentioned, like these are important numbers. Literally 25,000 to 30,000 Scientologists in the entire world max. In the US, you're going to have about half of that. So 12,000 to 15,000 Scientologists in the entire United States. In Clearwater, Florida, and in Los Angeles is where you're going to have the highest concentration just at the city level. Clearwater, Florida, if you include all of the Scientology staff members and all of the Scientology Sea Org members, forget Clearwater, Florida. In all of Tampa Bay, you could not put together 5,000 Scientologists. In all of LA County, I don't think you could put together 5,000 Scientologists, staff members, Sea Org members, public, and whatever you can put together. Only about half of those are even going to be voting people. That's what you actually have to work with. That is the real scene. I think it's really important that anyone running for elected office, because look, anyone running for elected office, you know they're going to go wherever they can get dollars. You know they're going to go wherever they can get votes. We know this. So that's why I think it's important for anyone who is running for elected office to understand there are practically no votes there to get. So why are you going there? There's no upside. And I think Alex Villanueva is about to find out that there's an awful lot of downside. Okay. Did I already go through all that? Okay, guys, that's it for now. Much more to come. Stay tuned. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I'll talk to you soon.
Okay, if you want to see my rock and roll songs, click right on this guitar. And if you want to see a different one of my videos, then you could click right inside here. If you have subscribed or not, subscribe right